Mud, I think you're muted again on the stream.
Are you?
On the
Hold
stream.
on. Let me see. Oh my god. Oh no.
Well, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Smud's doing his mime impression.
All right, how's that?
I can hear Giga Man, but I can't hear.
How we doing, folks? Testing 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. Anyone in chat, just say you can hear me or not. You know what happened? There was a Windows update last night, and I didn't test my microphone until just now.
Okay, that's weird. I think I can hear you.
All right.
And then now he's good, I think.
Okay, great.
But I don't know if that's for everybody though.
Okay, great. Fantastic. It's working.
Take it from the top.
All right. Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Smudcast, where we're covering some guys talking about other stuff that we usually talk about too. So this is a group used to be called Forced Adversity, as you see from the screen. We're watching the video, but they just rebranded their name to Actual Fandom. And we were just talking about that prior to, like, what the heck does that mean? Was
the
forced
arrogance.
Yeah, was Forced Adversity too combative? Like, what was the problem? Was it something you didn't like, or
But Actual Fandom
it's too honest.
Just that
yeah, it's
that
like
is despicable.
it's
to
like
call
saying the
yourself
true
that.
fandom, the real fans, the actual fan. It's like, give me a break. Everyone's a fan of something they like. That's all it is to it. It's not hard.
Yeah, so if you're the actual fans, that means that other people need to be fake fans, which means that the fake fan and the fake gamer girl thing, for example, as an adaptation of that, does actually have merit, after all.
Yeah, I don't like this. Like,
Thank you.
We're the real fans. Like, my channel is kind of like not trying to showcase that I'm a real fan, because I was against the fans of things, because we all criticize each other when we say, oh, I'm a fan of this, I'm a fan of that, but I don't like this because of this. And I was like, all right, fine, that's your opinion. I'm going to go over here, make my own thing. And to me, that's fine, because I'm not trying to one-up another person. I'm not trying to say they're fake fans. I'm just saying your opinion sucks, and I'm pointing it out. That's all I'm doing. I'm not saying I'm better than you. I'm just saying here's the evidence, and here's the reasoning behind the evidence. And it's a fandom that, doesn't follow logic sometimes, or doesn't follow the evidence, or just is pure emotion. And that's why we get excited, because people are liking the same thing as us. You're like, how can we both like the same thing, and your take on it is so different than the rest of us? So I don't like this idea of calling someone not a fan. Obviously, if you like something, good for you. However you like it, I don't care. It's when you argue with me and try to explain yourself why you think the way you do, that's where we have disagreement. And I welcome disagreement. I think that's great. It's just
I will contest one point of that.
Well,
and that is if someone claims to be a fan of something, but
okay,
then
that's something else.
The only thing you ever hear from that person is complaints about every aspect of the thing he or she claims to be a fan of.
That could be taken in different ways.
And wants to change everything.
Because
that is hard to believe to be a fan.
That's okay. Okay, well, hold on, because I have heard fans of, let's say, the BioWare games, who, just like me, have really strong opinions, and every day we were just criticizing the crap out of so much content because they're so big games. There's so much story and characters and dialogue that we were just laughing at the stupidity and the lack of connection between the points and the characters and the plots. It was such a silly thing to see because it was a downhill slope from the first games to the second and third. So
there's the constructive critique of a fan.
Sure,
that's different from I just want to change everything that it panders to what I like. It's not the same thing.
This is part and parcel because what you like ends up being based off another fandom or another story that did it better or did it well with better actors or better writers or whatever the case might be. So there's a little bit of both of why I like something.
I think the difference is between depth and superficiality, and the people who just complain to change things in every which way to fit what they want. They just want to change superficial things.
Yeah, and that's where we have
they don't care
fans
about depth.
of the Star Wars movies, the latest ones, because they're just like, oh, the lightsaber looks so cool, and oh, he's flexing his toes, and that means he's advancing on Luke or some bullshit. You're like, what are you reading into that's so nuanced that no one else is seeing? That's where we look at the I can't remember all these dumb Star Wars fans. I just forgot from memory that we covered because they're pointless. And it's not worth debating or arguing over because they're so silly. But if you're a fan of something, that means you generally enjoy it. You're going to get along with other fans of the same thing. And that is where I think we can have a conversation. I doubt we'll ever talk to these guys, even if we wanted to. It probably won't happen. But luckily we do have people who enjoy
Maybe if they change their name again.
If they change their name to the not so cringy fans that just are normal people, yeah. That'd be nice.
Living fans, I don't know. By the way, I did want to ask. Oh God, did you just? Anyway, what is an anti-fan?
An Antifa fan?
I feel like
anti-fan.
Anti-fan.
I don't know. What is
what's
an anti-fan?
People against
okay, you're a fan.
Ventilation.
Anti-fan, so basically the haters.
People from Mexico, yeah.
Yeah, but I could say I'm a fan of BioWare and I hate BioWare. Like I know why I'm both. So it's like if
I
you
did
love
like
something,
BioWare a long
hater,
time ago in a land far away.
Yeah, I know. When you like something so much, you're a fan of something, you can see the problems very easily and you could criticize them very easily. It's kind of like the promise of something like Star Citizen. Like that is a promise that people are invested in. They have their time, their money. They're going to wait another 5-7 years, God knows how long, if the project's still around, on the promise it's going to be good. We saw all these wonderful videos and screenshots on the first day of the Kickstarter, and we don't know what the devil's going to happen. And we're still waiting. It's been a while.
Yeah. But that's their thing. Let's let them support it until something comes out. They're the early adopters. Early adopters always throw tons of money into prototypes, essentially, which allows the development of the actual product that will then end up at an affordable price. That's how it works with all the tech you have in your life. And this is basically that in game format. If ever a solid product comes out of that, okay, but it won't be the masses that will fund it. It is the enthusiasts who believe in it. And whether they'll turn out with actually having a product or, well, waking up one day and think, oh, this was a scam after all, or a pipe dream, rather. I think if it fails, it's a pipe dream. I don't think it's a scam. The devs come across legitimate to me and honest and that they want to make this thing. And they've innovated a few very, very interesting things.
Yeah.
However, don't complain about the game not being finished yet. That's not what it's there for, honestly. This is an ongoing research project, if you will. If you look at it like an ongoing research project, you might get more enjoyment out of it. And personally, I believe that the people who have already sunk thousands of bucks into that, and I know some of them personally, And I only stopped after thinking about, wait, how much have I actually spent at this point? Like you get achievement card gifts, bonuses for having paid this much into the game, and when that popped up, it was like for this one guy, it was like, oh, maybe I should take a break from throwing money at this. But the thing is, still during all of that time, maybe very pricey, but the people who support this are enjoying it while it's going on.
I hope so, because that's a lot of time and money to, wait and concern yourself.
Yeah, but you can say the same thing about World of Warcraft during a lot of its time, where it was just boring, misdesigned crap, and people were spending over $100 a year for a glorified chat client.
Okay, so here's the question that Joe Crazy answered in chat, and also the creator of the video answered that in the comment section. Joe Crazy says, anti-fan is someone who doesn't just consume the product, which is a very broad category. I'll say fine.
What?
So
you mean a not dumb fan?
Yeah, exactly. And here's
a not an idiot.
Yeah, here's the answer from the actual creator or the channel. He linked to a video, in fact. He says, someone who complains about comics, TV, film nonstop seems to actually hate it, but instead of just doing something else, they keep whining and pissing in the pool of fandom. Parasites on fandom, really, here you go. So, I don't know, because a lot of people that I met from the BioWare forums when I moved over to YouTube, they were really cool, they were really smart, they knew the game more than I did, and they shared a lot of my problems. So, to me, that sounds like an anti-fan is a guy who's like, wait a second, did he just walk through that door? Wait a second, did he just miss his line? Like, there's all these flaws that pop out at them, and they write them down, and they go, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Why did that happen? So I like that fan. I like the guy who pays attention to page 197 of Watchmen or whatever, and sees the inconsistency or the hidden meaning or the potential value that I didn't see, because it does happen. I'm not perfect, and people can see things. Now, that's one element. The other element is the guy who reads too far into stuff. So the fan who wouldn't say projects, but they think this could mean this in the future. This could mean that in the next game or the sequel. It's like it could, or they won't do it at all. And they have a lot of headcanon running around. But it's difficult to describe what an anti-fan is. I've never really thought of it that way.
I think they made the term up. And if I remember right, these guys are on the SJW side of things.
Oh, sure.
Which are
Clearly
the very people who get into everything and complain about everything, but not on a constructive manner.
So that's why.
But the way that you just described, they say the anti-fan is, while they, which is probably why they invented the term anti-fan now, as being not just consuming but criticizing a piece of media into the ground, is what they would label everyone who criticizes SJW-friendly content, like the He-Man reboot, TLJ, Thundercats Roar, and all of that garbage.
Well, I hope they actually criticize the fandom and not, or sorry, they criticize the actual content, not the fandom, the people, because that's, unless their takes are really dumb.
Oh no, when SJW stuff is criticized, it's usually the content that's criticized. When SJWs criticize something, they complain about, oh, there's not enough gay in this, there's not enough sex in this, and there is not enough black people in
diversity.
This. And of course, and the fan base is toxic and gatekeeping.
Yeah. It's always toxic. It doesn't matter who you are, what it is. If it's football, basketball.
Yeah. If it's not pro SJW, it's toxic.
It's toxic, yeah. You're a woman-hating, racist, fascist.
Yeah, and if you don't like the SJW stuff, you're an anti-fan.
For playing Squaresoft games or something. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? For liking Japanese anime. Oh my god, you're a horrible person. Anyway.
Anti-fans. What's a pro fan then?
Oh, let's not get into that. Let's not find out. Anyway, let's talk about the video. Came out. Let me just check.
Wait, this is one thing I just you said by these people's definition, the anti-fan is a fan who doesn't just blindly consume.
That's Joe Crazy.
That would mean what?
That's Joe Crazy in the chat, but then I switched over to the
Okay.
actual.
Oh, okay. By Joe Crazy's definition, then, the SJWs then would just want blind consumers of their product, which is the capitalist way of going, the hyper-capitalist way of going about things.
Apple can do no wrong. Buy the next iPhone.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
amazing.
That's why I'm telling you,
You have to get stuckmanized.
socialism is just really, really, really bad capitalism in disguise.
Oh well. Anyway, let's get on with the video. It came out this month, about a week ago. It's about 11 minutes long. I don't think it'll take that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's not going to be that hard to go through. But anyway, this is before they've rebranded as actual fandom. Okay, here we go.
Disgusting. Oh, God.
Oh, let's listen to that one more time.
This is so
Oh.
loud.
Whoa. Is that their intro?
That has got to be the gayest thing we've ever covered.
It's quirky.
It's just
Why am I here?
It's so quirky.
Oh my god, Wisp.
Hey,
Full set of voices.
Someone under one of Rose of Dawn's latest live streams put into a very, very short sentence what I need a page to explain, and then just put it as trans activists and SJWs at large by that fashion. And never in my life has anyone made me want to hide back in the closet again as SJWs.
All right. Here's Tall Person. Thank you for the donation there. To have a group on your take before you watch the video, what do you define as a legacy character? What makes a good one? What makes a bad one? I don't know exactly in regards to a legacy character unless we're referring to an adaptation that changes characters or a jump from one medium to the next where they change content for whatever reason. That would be legacy. So it doesn't have to be old. It could just be a second take or a second run on a story. So that could be legacy to me. Okay, here we go. Holy hell.
John Walker isn't Captain America. Bucky Barnes isn't Captain.
Oh boy, pronouns.
What? Where? What?
To your top left.
Oh,
Dane,
God.
he-
Oh, God.
yeah,
Yeah, I
just in
wouldn't,
case-
I wouldn't
in
be
case
able
if you were
to tell
confused.
if this bearded egg is a guy.
Yeah.
I thought it was a cat. Honestly,
So it could be a
I'm
male
glad
cat.
it's a human being. He, him. Okay.
Yeah. Casey didn't get the memo that men have facial hair. Okay, great. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Case in point. These are the types of people that make me want to hide in the closet again.
Okay. All right. I don't even want to do this, but okay, let's go.
America. Sam Wilson isn't Captain America. Steve Rogers is Captain America. It's about character, not race. Screw your mantles and legacy. U.S. Agent, Winter Soldier, and Falcon are not lesser identities.
What?
All right. Okay. I had a response to that, believe it or not. Can you believe that?
But Bucky
I can believe
is
it.
white.
We were thirsty for that debate last week. We couldn't get it.
Well, I mean, by the way, I'm not talking about
I guess.
Comicsgate here. I don't know if this guy's Comicsgate.
Comicsgate? How old is Comicsgate? I mean, we had Gamergate, 6 years ago, whatever. But Comicsgate can't be that old. Like 4 years? 3 years? I don't know.
I've lost track of time. No, Comicsgate started earlier.
Really?
I think that was still 2017-ish,
Okay.
16-ish.
Oh.
This is a long time.
5 years.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, but I see he pretentiously placed the mouse book behind himself. And I only noticed that because my pattern recognition went, swastika! Oh god, are the fats coming and bursting down my door because there's a swastika on the street? Because this is Germany.
Is that a parody? It's not a real book, is it? It's not the Communist Manifesto.
It it had been on the curriculum in the United States, but there have been people trying to get it off because it has some naughty words.
All right, here's Steven
Which is the
Siegel.
dumbest reason to take a book off.
Always nice to have Steven back in our chat. These guys are so gay that in school they got shoved into lockers by the other gay kids. Oh, can't wait to watch the people who despise capitalism divide by infinity to justify defending a bad product made by a capitalist company. Yeah, well.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if it's made by a capitalist company, they're just going to criticize everything just because they live in that world. So it's bad by existing. Like apples are bad because they were bought by a farmer.
And they're red.
Yeah, well,
This room looks
Red,
tiny.
that's communism.
I guess, yeah. Anyway.
Probably
a
so,
cubicle?
but like, okay, so
Well, we're more or less debating those ideas that guy is like.
well, okay, so first of all, let's just consider the irony of an account called the Green Lantern, and his handle is actually at Captain Jordan, as in Hal Jordan, who guess what, was not the first Green Lantern.
Damn. Oh my God.
So just
Okay.
right out the gate, he owned himself. Congratulations.
No, he called himself after the Green Lantern, not the
It's
first
the first
one.
human Green
Well,
Lantern.
but Captain America and Green Lantern are not the
It's
same.
where it's where the Green Lantern story starts. It
Why
starts
are
with
we-
Hal Jordan. That makes him the first Green Lantern of note.
Why are we associating Rogers with Jordan? I don't. What's the?
Captain America is the first American hero in the 1940s or whatever, depending on the. 'Cause I'm not
Yeah,
too
the
familiar with
40s
comic.
during the war.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I call myself
Whereas-
the first Smurf, but I'm talking about a totally different fandom. What is
What? I
It's
have
not
no
the
idea
same,
what's
yeah.
going on now.
like? What is what's the problem here? Your Twitter handle.
He's probably going to make some argument that there were Green Lanterns of other alien races before, so he's not a real first Green Lantern.
Yeah,
Yeah, but Hal Jordan is the first human to be a Green Lantern, and that is why he's the first Green Lantern.
yeah.
Alan Scott.
You could say Commander Shepard
What?
was the first human.
Alan Scott.
Alan Scott's the first one.
Oh,
Alan Scott came first, technically. And they
Okay.
did preserve that after Crisis.
can you explain that to me? How that works?
No. That's just the character. It doesn't have to be explained.
Well, they explain it that Alan Scott still stayed as the first Green Lantern, but the way he got his powers was from a artifact that ended up being a prototype lantern battery that is separate from the main lantern battery on Oa.
Okay, when did this come out? This story come
That's
out?
Golden Age.
Was the story written before or after Hal Jordan?
Before, Alan Scott came first.
Okay,
He
Yeah,
was
but-
the Golden Age Green Lantern.
the thing is,
okay.
it's,
I
this-
was not aware of
these
that.
are two different topics. The guy did not self-own
Yeah.
himself by naming himself something on Twitter. That's retarded. That's not an argument. This is the level of intelligence we're going to expect from it's like, guys, come on. You're not that dumb.
It would be trying to compare like the Kryptonians to Batman. It's like they're different characters. Like Batman's the first mortal hero, I guess.
It's just a stupid.
Whereas there's Superman. It's like it's a planet full of Kryptonians.
It's just
I
like
guess.
this is the level of childish sort of name calling we're expecting from these guys. Like, I don't really care about your opinion anymore. You're not to be taken. You're not to be taken seriously, is what I'm saying. This is not worth our time. But let's see if
I instantly have this feeling the moment I see pronouns at people's names.
I keep mentioning that on Twitter every time someone argues with me and I check their profile and they have pronouns. I immediately say, "Oh, I'm done with you." Pronouns.
Okay, that's an idiot.
Smud, you're not an adult. Okay, you disregard pronouns. You're a baby. Apparently.
I like using real nouns. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna play this against them because this whole pronoun shit hurts real trans people. These people are the transphobes.
Oh,
We just need to turn this around on them
I
because
think-
that's what the actual effects are.
I think they have enough problems. I don't think they can handle being called
Who has
names.
enough problems? The problems of SJWs is that they don't have enough problems. That's why they come up with all this bullshit.
Oh, all right. If you say so, I'll just leave them alone.
Because it gives me character. Okay.
Anyway, let's see this
When you have
self-owned.
actual problems in your life to deal with, you don't come up with all this bullshit.
Yeah, let's see this self-owned argument he's inventing here.
You played yourself.
All right.
That whole mean.
So, you called that out, right? Please tell me you called that out. And he has a
Well,
response.
I mean, yeah, I did. I was like, so is Hal Jordan not a valid Green Lantern? Is John Stewart not a Green Lantern? Is basically what I realized thinking about this was
What, John
it
Stewart?
seems like there's a cutoff date in certain people's minds, right? Like
Mhm.
if you're a legacy character post 2010,
Whatever they were.
it doesn't
when they
count.
could. Yeah.
It doesn't count. Yeah. So like right here. Green Lantern and his magic-based Golden Age namesake, Green Lantern. Flash and his Golden Age namesake with the funny hat, Flash. Superman and his dad, Superman. Wolverine and her
What?
clone dad, Wolverine. Spider-Man
What?
and his white mentor.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm getting.
This is dumb.
Yeah, I don't get this at all. What's the point of
I
this?
need him. I need him. Yeah, I need him to clarify what he means by this
Yeah,
video.
this kind of what he's saying here kind of makes no sense.
He wants.
I don't
he wants
get
to
the
say
point he's trying to make.
no, he's acting as if Miles Morales is accepted as the genuine Spider-Man, which he isn't. He's Miles Morales.
He's accepted as a Spider-Man, but not the
Yes.
Spider-Man.
Exactly. He doesn't get that.
But he's still very much accepted by the fan base.
All right, here's Tyler Preston.
In
Thanks
the
for the
comic run or after the
basically, no.
Spider-Verse?
Basically only due to Spider-Verse.
All right, here's
Pretty much.
I'll do
All of-
Here's Tyler Preston. I'll do Marvel's job better for them by coming up with better names. John Walker is U.S. Agent. Bucky Barnes is White Wolf. Sam Wilson is Red Hawk. And Steve Rogers is Captain America. Okay. Good enough for me.
What I've heard from all the comic book fans that are black that I know, they all find Miles Morales boring, uninspired in writing, and basically just a token. That's why
It's
they
just
don't give a shit
Peter
about
Parker,
him.
but if he was black,
They don't give a shit about him because he was only done interesting well in Spider-Verse, and that was there was a basic story essentially. Yeah, you have dimensional shenanigans, but it's not a special story really in regards to character and character development. But if the comics are worse than that, then what the hell are these people doing?
they're not trying. They're not being
Well,
creative.
I
That's the
don't,
problem with tokenism. Tokenism isn't creative.
I don't
It's
know
never
what his-
creative.
I don't know what his point is here,
Right.
but okay, let's.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's
Spider-Man. Legacy characters. It's a thing that's been around literally almost since the fucking dawn. Well, I don't know who the first legacy character is. Maybe Reggie, you might know offhand, but like at least since the original Green Lantern and Flash, where there was Alan Scott and what was the original Flash's name? Slipping my mind. But
Big
they
Eric.
existed, back in the the 40s and 50s, and then they in the 70s, I think it was the 70s or 60s, they reintroduced a new Flash, Barry Allen, and a new Green Lantern, Hal Jordan. Same names, at least somewhat different power sets and different versions of the same power set, different origins, but the same essential powers and so on. And those were legacy characters, and people accept those. They're accepted. They're widely accepted.
Maybe because
in
they
fact,
were
most
written
people
well
would
enough.
probably think of Hal Jordan as the Green Lantern if they're even aware of the original Alan Scott one.
Look, if they were accepted back in the day, and the stuff that this tokenism bullshit that's not accepted nowadays, maybe there's a difference. Sadly, I can't speak from substance here because I haven't read all of that stuff. But educated guess with all the shit that's coming out that I keep criticizing, and where I like the old stuff and even the sequels to stuff that came out back in the day that I also criticize of series that I very much liked, I could still like them. The tokens crap that's coming out now with all your political fetishism bullshit, it's just badly written. It's uninspired. When it's video games, even the gameplay is shit quite often. So my assumption, my educated guess here would simply be that these legacy characters in the past, 60 years ago, were at least as well written as their predecessors. if not better. And that's why they were accepted. And your socialist ideology crap is not accepted because it's not well written. It is in fact very badly written. Because, people with an actual mind, that includes children, they often have more developed minds than SJWs. They see past the surface scribblings, the pictures that you color, the colored pages and the fancy things on the screen, and notice, well, this character is a shithead. This story doesn't make sense. I don't want to watch this. It's very simple.
Well,
I had these reactions a lot as a kid when there was pandering stuff.
Yeah.
When adults, it's because SJWs are effectively that what's his name, the hey fellow kids meme with the skateboard on the back.
Well, I think
that's SJWs.
I think he's just
Steve Buscemi.
How do you do,
exactly,
fellow
Steve
kids?
Buscemi meme.
I think he's just trying to say that all these characters are at one point in time written by someone that had the mantle of Superman or Batman or this or that back in the 40s or 50s or whenever they were made. It's like, okay, sure.
Yeah, but
Well, I mean, the main lineup of heroes has stayed the same. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Those guys are the same. They weren't.
yeah, it's
changed
not
up from
every
someone else.
character.
It's not everyone. It's those that were specifically changed to a different person, like Lantern and Flash
Right.
Or Ghost Rider, or
and Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle, yeah.
All right.
What else is there?
But in
it's-
Blue Beetle's case, they were able to reincorporate Dan Garrett into the more modern history in some way. And to go back to an earlier point, in defense of Alan Scott, you can argue that there's an in-universe reason why he's not acknowledged as much, especially recently. It's because he's not an actual member of the Green Lantern Corps, because of the way he got his powers.
Yeah, someone in chat wrote that his powers are more magic-based instead of science-based as the actual Green Lanterns.
Yep.
Something like that.
Yep.
All right.
The way he's got his powers is completely separate from the entire rest of the Lantern Corps.
All right. Here is the Crazy with a K Quilters Club, all with 3 Ks. Thank you very much, Mr. Crazy Quilters
KKK?
Club.
3Ks? Oh no.
These people hem and haw about how much they love these new black versions of heroes and woke versions, and yet never seen to buy the books. To quote Bears, Luke Cage was awesome till they turned him into faggot Cliff Huxtable. Oh. Oh dear. Well,
Yeah, well, it's either they're not buying it or there are far less SJWs than we thought.
right. But right now he's just saying there are these characters that are old and they are the same name. It's like, yes, you're right. They're
But I feel like he's trying to conflate like the idea of like the mantle, and it could like it's almost like the Power Rangers. Anybody can wield it versus
well, right.
character that goes through something specific and
The-
becomes
There were
that
shitty
very
Power
hero.
Rangers that people didn't like as much.
Well, yeah, but the original argument from the original poster was that Steve Rogers was Captain America because of his character, not because of some writer wrote him. It's because he
Right,
had-
and then his counter argument seems to be, well, what about Green Lantern and all that? Like, it's not the same though.
In the case of Lantern and Flash, the whole legacy aspect is more literal
Mm-hmm.
because of the way they did it.
All right. And there's nothing wrong with being a fan of just Steve Rogers and not liking those other guys, the versions thereof. It's fine. You can like whatever you like. No one cares. Well, most people don't care.
Yeah, I
Same
don't
thing
care
with
about
Flash.
Isaiah Bradley, whatever the guy's name is.
Which one?
The Black Captain America, Isaiah.
Is it Falcon or someone else?
No, it's Isaiah Bradley. He was supposedly he was the first Captain America that they tested the super soldier serum
Oh, now I remember.
before
Yeah.
they had. Yeah, okay.
Well, I just noticed he has his bio on the right. It says actual fandom live. This is this thing, which is a horribly arrogant and hubristic thing to call yourself. The second thing is Beta Boys TV.
Yeah, what is that?
Beta
Oh, he
Boys.
actually has
You wanna
hashtag
you
BLM
unironically
translation.
call yourself a beta boy.
Okay.
Okay, that means he admits to being a manipulative, duplicitous, backstabbing cunt. Okay. And then further down it says trans rights, because of course it does, because he has the pronouns there, because he's an idiot. If he knew anything about the trans issue, he would be against this hashtag and against putting pronouns anywhere and call the shit out.
You know what? It's
that
just his
actually
own.
doesn't.
It's just his own.
Fucking
It's
Or
a
he's a coward. And he has
Beta
to
Boys
bend the
TV
knee.
is a YouTube channel /
He calls himself a
Discord.
beta boy. Of course, he's a coward.
Well, this is their other brand apparently. There's a YouTube channel. There's a Twitter handle. There's a Twitch rather, and Discord. I guess it's just
Do it.
the same thing as what he's doing here, except it's focused on news and not comics. So he has like a comic channel and he has like a news politics bullshit channel.
Yeah, but like
Huh.
bloody hell! I basically castrated myself, and I'm still more of a man than this guy.
Okay, let's go.
Most people are
We
gonna think
respect
of
you for it,
Barry
Wisp.
Allen, and the more modern, the Silver Age Flash, as opposed to the original with the fucking, silver goofy hat and the lightning bolts on it. So what is it about newer characters that it's not okay for them to be legacy characters, right? Why is it okay for
The word new, I would think. That's why.
Well,
they're
when
not
you
legacy-
write them like dog shit, yeah, no one's
Oh.
gonna respond to it.
well, no,
It's
he's
all about the quality, all about the writing.
if the
The
adjective
thing with
says
SJW thinking is that it's this childish nonsense of, oh, but I have the new thing and I named it like the old thing, so you have to like it. Please
Yeah.
like it. I'll rub it in your face. Why don't you like it? Why don't you like my creation that is made of shit?
well, just the name itself. Why can't the new characters be legacy characters? It's because they're new characters. You just said so. One is not the other. One is a different adjective. That's why we have adjectives to describe them. I don't know, like, why is the new Captain America the old Captain America? Gee, I don't know. Because they reinvented him and it's not the same? That's why they call him something new?
Man, just why don't people like our socialist, racist propaganda? I just don't get it. Why don't they just like it?
He has to give a direct
It's
example.
exactly as new.
A direct example of the Steve Rogers knockoff or the ersatz Steve Rogers or whatever. So we could say, okay, there's the example. Let's look at him and see why he's not like Steve. And what makes Steve Steve? What's about his like Steve was a unique guy because he had that whole heroic mentality. Not prior to the super serum, he was already a soldier mentally, not physically. Mentally, he was there. Personality-wise, he was one to serve. He had all the courage he needed, and diving on a opened grenade and doing all these things for his country. He was pretty much a nice guy with homeschool values? What do they call them? Good old American values. I don't know. We describe Steve Rogers as.
Yeah, you could say he was a traditional person.
Yeah, he's sort of larger than life in that capacity, but because he went to sign up for the military. So it's like, he is a hero mentally. And we look at the more newer versions of Captain America and what they did to them with, was it Netflix they put it on? Or was it Amazon Prime? I can't remember what streaming service.
Disney.
Was Disney Plus?
Disney Plus.
Little different character there, and a lot different from the depiction in the movies of the newest iteration. So people might have a slight problem with that. And that's, I think, what the original poster was complaining about. Not so much they're white or black or this or that.
Yeah, and Bacht in the chat says, I don't care, make your characters and stories and we hope they works, and if not, so what? This so what is, these companies have been so infested with this ideology that they solely hire based on ideological nepotism, not on merit, not on people's ability to actually write good stuff, create good stuff in any way. And that destroys these companies that are cultural bastions, if you will, or have been, and they have been decimated by this. These cultural monoliths are dying due to these bad hiring practices that produces this bullshit, this level of bullshit. If people make fan fiction products Okay, they can do whatever they want. But the actual official stuff is pandering to the worst subset of what fan fiction could be, which is discarding the core values of everything and replacing it with the absolute worst fetishes of race, sexuality, and the worst of political ideology imaginable.
Right. In regards to Captain
And I want-
America,
That just makes these companies go bankrupt.
I don't know if this
and robs us of good products.
I don't know if this came out yet, but I remember the story about Captain America of the Railway, which had was he bisexual or homosexual guy who dressed
he was a gay guy fighting for LGBT rights or something.
Something
with a
like-
trash can.
with a trash can, and he painted it or whatever, and you're like, okay, I mean that's interesting, but why? Like, why? How does this fit into the Captain America mythos? I don't know. So
It doesn't.
yeah, if it's like a
They
one
just want to force it.
well, maybe if it's like an offshoot and they want to make this guy the new Captain America, there's like that's not going to work. That's like a side story or something. That's like a alternate plot line of something else happening. So you can call it whatever you like, but it's not going to fit well with the fans. Who be like, that's not Captain America. What the hell's that? So anyway, Legacy, thanks for the $1.99. Is he making fun of my namesake? I think he's got words confused and he's being hypersensitive about them. That's what's going on here.
Yeah, and Chad asked the right questions. Has he defined anti-fans yet? No, and I don't think he's gonna do that in this live stream. If anything, he might do it maybe in a distinct video. I think he would, if anything, just run with what he already established elsewhere. And so far, we've only seen this one tweet of someone else. Otherwise, he's just posting his own tweets right now. So can't tell much.
So here's I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Litium, Light I am a gay. All right, thanks for the one. They don't have a podcast. They have a Putscast. Hold on now. Real fandom, is that implying people who don't like what they like aren't real fans? Damn dog, sounds a lot like hate keeping, which I thought they were against. Oh, hate keeping, that's a good one. All right. Maybe you misspelled it as gate. I think it's misspelled as gatekeeping. The G and the H are right next to each
No,
other.
I like it. Hey,
I like it
I
too.
think we can make something out of that typo.
Hate keeping.
yeah.
Keeping the hatred within the fandom. Okay. All right.
Old
they're
Silver Age
hate-keeping.
characters to have mantles that were passed down to them, but not modern, contemporary superheroes. Does anybody? Jay Garrick, thank you. Thank you, Xeon's Ghost. Jay Garrick was the original Flash. And then, never mind the fact that the Green Lanterns are literally a core of people with the title of their Green Lanterns, right? There's not just one Green Lantern. There's, John Stewart. He's been a Green Lantern since what, the 80s? 70s? I don't remember. DC's not my strong suit, I'll be honest. As far as,
I thought of
dates
the
and
comedian.
specifics like
Ryan
that. But
Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds in 2011 was a Green Lantern.
yep. Well, I mean, he's Hal Jordan. Like he was playing Hal Jordan. So
Oh,
yeah, it doesn't.
Ryan Reynolds
make
was
any
not a
sense
Green Lantern. Ryan
that
Reynolds
these
is an
people
actor
get
who
upset
played the
about-
character that is a Green Lantern.
It's a movie. Like what?
I mean, I have trouble remembering
guy's
names,
confused
but
about
I can
everything.
keep actors and characters apart. Bloody hell! This is the level of these people's intelligence. They can't distinguish between reality and fiction.
Falcon
boy.
being, which by the way is caused because I think in the comics they're making Falcon also Captain America now. So like there's going to be two Captain Americas the same way there's now two Wolverines. Laura Kinney is also Wolverine, and Spider-Man Miles Morales is also Spider-Man. But that's the reason. If you notice, I framed this a specific
He's
way.
in another universe.
By naming the newer one first, right?
yeah.
And that's kind of like in a way to kind of like get your attention to say that like these they're valid, in the same way that these who are generally accepted, these first two. Well, guess what? Superman is also Superman. Wolverine is also Wolverine, regardless of gender, regardless of sex or race.
Also, you make a distinction.
They're the same fucking thing, the same concept, and don't let anyone.
Look, this trans rights activist makes a distinction between gender and sex. When did this happen?
Anyone tell you the concept of a legacy character suddenly became invalid in the 21st century? So,
I don't get what the argument is, though.
Maybe it's like, well, my Wolverine is the 80s Wolverine, not the 90s or Wolverine or the 20s or whatever. Like, what? I don't know. Like,
he just wants everyone to accept the new shitty characters, the new shitty legacy characters, because nobody likes them, because they're written like diarrhea. They're repulsive. They're often repulsive narcissists or psychopaths.
So he's saying
that's why nobody likes them, or because their whole defining feature is the skin color or that they're gay.
So he's saying because the legacy characters are valid, so are the new ones. It's like, okay, yeah, they're named the same thing. It doesn't make them the same thing. There's this thing called quality and writing and stories and storytelling, and does it work, and does the characterization work?
That's all you have to say, because I don't know what else he wants. He's just using blanket statements, and I'm supposed to figure out what he's trying to communicate to us.
He is simply offended that people do not like the shit versions, because all he sees is, oh, the character has the name, so you must like the character. You must blindly like the character,
right?
Without regard to what the character does, what the character's actually is.
Right.
Just, but you slap Wolverine on it, and so you have to like it.
Right. Like we think of X-23. I don't think of her as Wolverine. I think they named the comic after her or whatever. She's the new Wolverine or whatever. But Logan is Wolverine. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, he's the guy who will advertise for new Coke from Coca-Cola, to that you have to like it because it's still Coca-Cola, because the company name Coca-Cola is on the can, even though everybody hates it due to the horrible taste.
Oh, yeah.
And I have to bring back classic Coke. But he is the capitalist shill. This communist is the capitalist shill that is telling you, but you have to like the new Coke because it's still Coke. It says so on the bottle. It says so on the can.
What was the Pepsi Clear? Was that the alternative?
Crystal Pepsi? Crystal Coke? What's this weird stuff?
Yeah.
That you don't see anyway because it's in the can?
Yeah, I like my corn syrup clear, sir. I was like, what? Okay.
Just keep that in mind.
Did you know that
folks.
These different types of monster have different colors?
Character. If you don't like a legacy character because you like the original better, whatever, fine. But when you go around being a fucking gatekeeping dickhead about it, like, that's not the real Wolverine, which I
Wait a second. If I don't like an old version or a new version, and I have reasons therefore, and I can explain why, this is what makes Superman, and the new version, or red and blue Superman, or cyborg Superman, or all these other iterations, like, that's not real Superman. That's Superman over there from 1970 or 1980 or whatever. It's like, okay, what's your argument? And here's what makes the argument, what makes Superman, Jonathan Kent, how he's raised to be a child of was it Kansas? An American values and being honest and good and true. That's not Cyborg, not Superboy, not all these other weird iterations. So there's arguments for that. And that's why we attach ourselves to certain flavors of, like Red Sun Superman. Like, oh, wow, what a crazy version that I wasn't expecting. I like it, but that's not really Superman.
Yeah, but because it's Elseworlds, that's fine. It's alternative stories of, hey, what if? They're what if stories. And you can do that for a change. It can be fun.
Yeah, it's like
you can
arguing,
do that with basically anything.
It's like arguing.
You could say it's official fan fiction.
Okay, yeah, but it's like arguing which the best Robin, because everyone like hates Damian and then he got better, or they fixed him rather. It's like, why did they hate Damian? His character, the way he was acting, he thought he was better than everyone else. He wanted to kill people. It's like, whoa. Who the hell are you coming into Batman's life and telling him what to do? That's crazy.
It was a bad choice of a Robin at worst, at best, in universe.
Yeah.
In regards to this guy here, don't you invoke the bad gatekeepers. You bloody assholes have guilt-tripped us, or rather we were stupid enough to let ourselves be guilt-tripped by you assholes into accepting you into all of these hobbies, into all of these fandoms, if you want to use that term, because they're actually open. All these hobbies are open. People are happy if more people come in. But you assholes came in, outright guilt-tripped everyone, and then you started changing everything, like some Christian mom who sees demons and Satanism everywhere. And then you brought up all this bullshit of, well, if you don't like it, you are probably a racist, sexist, Nazi, white supremacist, transphobe, anti-gay, whatever. And you are not needed. You are not the target audience. We don't want your money. Get out. You are the fucking gatekeepers. You're not just gatekeepers. You're parasitic gatekeepers. You come in, infest the thing.
Thank you.
Tell everyone that they're gatekeepers, so they lower their defenses, they lower their immune reactions against you, and then you set in, and then the first thing you assholes do is you build all those walls, you build all those fences, and you build watchtowers, and you build the most defended castles and fortresses with the hardest rules of gatekeeping, where you catapult people out if they don't 100% agree with you. That is you. You are the gatekeepers. But you are not good gatekeepers. You are sinister, evil gatekeepers. You do not want to preserve something good. You want to preserve your position of power, where you get to change everything according to your cult. And that is how you destroy everything. You move, you're like some locust swarm. You move from one hobby, one franchise to the next. One cultural bastion to the next. One innocuous hobby to the next. Until it's all gone and there will be nothing left.
Yep, let's burn it all down.
All right.
That is why it needs actual good gatekeepers. To keep these people out so that we can actually keep the good stuff and rebuild.
I find it funny that this guy says he's gatekeeping. All he did was send a tweet.
Yeah, but well, everyone who's not on their side, everyone who's not agreeing with these people, is every bad word, and it's all projection.
Yeah.
He calls other people gatekeepers. He's the gatekeeper. He calls other people racist. He's the racist. He calls other people transphobe, probably, because they all do. He is the transphobe, or rather, he is the science phobe, because he doesn't give a shit about what's real. And he probably doesn't want to hear anything about detransitioners or that it's a biological condition that actually supports the gender binary and all of that stuff. He doesn't want to hear any of that. He doesn't want to see the data. This is the type of person who goes on about the science is settled and listen to the belief in the science when it's about stuff that he likes and narratives that he likes. But not about stuff that he doesn't like. Then the data has to be disregarded. These people, and this is the horrible thing, and I hate to say this. It disgusts me to say this. These people are all the same. They're on a very low level of cognition. They run the same scripts, they run the same dogma, they do not question anything. They do not ever reflect what they believe in or what they believe to know. They just go along and build on top of that. And that is what is sufficient for most people to get through life. It's all because people do not need a complete, rational, and realistic understanding of the world to get through life. They do not need it. That is not a requirement to survive. All you need is internal consistency. As long as your internal narrative of how the world operates works, there's no need to update it, because updating takes a lot of energy out of you. It is a very painful process. And the deeper your beliefs go that have to be changed, the harder it is. The bigger it will go to an absolute mental breakdown if that is necessary. And that is why the human mind, the subconscious, fights against that really hard, fights against reality checks with cognitive dissonance. And if it gets really bad, with doublethink. It's a tool to retain sanity while managing, keeping the false worldview alive, while the reality check essentially invalidates the worldview. like someone throwing a brick at you. You can stay in your belief that there is no objective reality. That's just your subjective reality, and in your subjective reality, the brick doesn't exist. Well, that's not gonna keep the brick from hitting your head, is it? And that's the reality. The brick is a reality check. And most of these people, they will admit that the brick is actually real and dodge it. But afterwards, they will instantly revert to, the brick wasn't actually real. It was just a reflex to the blah, blah, blah. They will just recreate the internal consistency. It's a very extreme example. And that's how they operate. And that's how most people operate. And yes, it is sad. But, thinking is pain.
All right. Well,
it's not that. That's this last thing.
Whatever you do.
Then maybe it's pain.
That's just this proverb.
It does exhaust, yes.
I know.
Exhaust them.
Yeah. And there's the saying that if only I don't know how you say it in English. If being dumb would cause pain, you'd be screaming all day. This is the same thing we say in German. I don't know if you have that in English. But the thing is rather that thinking is pain. And that is because thinking requires a lot of energy, and that thinking actually hurts and eventually gives you a headache if you do it too much. Like you sit down for an exam, for example, you study a lot. That also gives you a headache after a while because it exhausts you. And this pain reaction is a security measure of the brain in order to keep you from exhausting yourself. Because you have to imagine this brain is basically adapted to living in caves and running on berries and nuts that you find in the wild. So wasting the precious energy, especially in winter, on existentialist questions is the dumbest thing you could do. So that's why you get the pain reaction. The thing is, most people are so aversive to the pain of thinking that they just run away from it, which is why they run away from reality checks, because the reality check means they need to readapt, update their worldview, which is just how basic things function. We are not talking about ideology at that point. We can talk about very basic things like, I've done this always this way. Something that can actually be like lifting a box the wrong way, like bending over all the time instead of going down on your knees, bending on your knees instead. I've always done it this way. I never got hurt, and then their back cracks. Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
I'm done.
Yeah. Don't check out their Beta Boys TV channel. That's just a political pile of crap. Like that's just.
Instead, watch Whisp on Twitch. That's a much better.
This was on Twitch. Oh boy, fun times.
I rarely ever put that thing on, but I'm pushing through Northgard right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Anyway,
the AI is fucked up.
We're pretty much halfway done. I don't know how long this is going to take, but let's see what he has to say.
I think I'm done with the big speeches.
All right.
Wolverine's a guy and not a girl and shit like that. Then you better be consistent with how you apply that. Is all I'm saying. Be intellectually consistent.
Just call it Tasmanian
Be intellectually
Devil.
honest. If you think that Laura Kinney's not really Wolverine, if you think that John Kent's not really Superman, then you don't get to call Hal Jordan
Kent?
Green Lantern. You don't get to call Barry Allen the Flash.
I feel like
he named his son after his Earth father?
So there's no difference between every single hero. Okay.
Everybody's the exact same.
I don't get it though.
In a
can still be
communist and a
consistent.
narcissist world. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
I see nothing
But I
wrong.
just don't understand it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a fan saying, I don't like this version of Superman or whatever. I like this one. This is my Superman. It's like, okay, fine, good for you. So, what's wrong with
He
that?
can't distinguish between them. He can't. This is what I mean with in a communist and a narcissist world, because they're technically the same thing. These people are unable to distinguish between the characters of other people because they have no empathy. So they are all these characters are the same when they have the title. They are the title is the character. They do not understand people having different character, a different character, a different personality. They do not understand what personalities are because they have not yet developed one of their own. They probably never will if they go beyond a certain age.
Okay.
The whole thing is you can say you have a favorite Captain America, you have a favorite Wolverine, you can have a favorite Hawkeye. You can't just say you shouldn't just I think you shouldn't have to pick one over all and just say the rest of them you don't want. It's I hope that makes sense.
No. A fan says, okay, comic books are very diverse. There's all kinds of writers. There's all kinds of ages. There's all kinds of decades where the comics suck and they're better and they're this and that. I can point to certain comics, certain storylines. I say, I like this storyline better because this is where Batman is really cool. And this is where Jean-Paul Valley is really mean and cruel. And they fight, and it's really neat to see that conflict. That's the Batman I like. I don't really care for all these other writers who did Batman. There's nothing wrong with that. The same with any series. I like Two Towers the best out of the 3 Lord of the Rings books. I don't like the third one. It's boring. I didn't even read all of it. It's so slow. I just can't take it. Second one, fantastic. So
yeah, I can say the same thing about the Sandman series. There are some absolutely beautiful gems in there, and then there's some slogfests.
Same with the artists. Some artists are great. Some of them are just like sketchy like lines, and that's supposed to be a face. And like, what the hell? Like, there's all kinds of iterations of comic books that people enjoy. What's wrong with saying I don't like X-23 as Wolverine? What's wrong with that?
Yeah, because that fan, for one, criticizes this for some reason, and you could listen to the reason and not just the I don't like it, because that's where you stop. That's not critique. That's just someone saying I don't like that. But what you don't do is look at 10,000 of people say that. So one reason why they say that is that there's stuff made for this character now that is not very good.
Right.
That means stuff for the character I like isn't gonna made.
And this is
anymore.
why not so many people aren't buying comics anymore. The stories aren't as good.
Yeah, and the most important one is, and that is what all these SJWs refuse to even consider thinking, ever questioning themselves, is, well, why don't they like it?
It's not about the money.
They have all these simple answers, these simple projection answers. Oh, it's racism. No, it's not racism. it's look, the numbers speak for themselves. People are not buying this stuff. You are not buying this stuff. You are complaining that people don't buy crap that you refuse to admit to be crap, that you refuse to admit is flawed. You do never talk about substance, about content, about quality. You never talk about these things. You only want people to buy the stuff because the brand name is on it, which is how the bad capitalists think that you claim to criticize. That's you. All this is why I did this thought experiment of thinking this point through to the end, that socialists, SJWs, communists, whatever you call them, always project. And when you think that through to the end, that means that all the capitalism critique that these people utter is what they themselves are doing. That is why SJWs are the worst capitalists. They are all the worst elements of capitalists and capitalism that they accuse capitalism and capitalists of holding, of being. And that includes buy the product no matter what, because I tell you to. It has the brand name on it. Why don't you like it? Just buy it, give me the money, and consume.
And clap, you bigot.
Does that sound to you in any way like the communist utopia? Or does that sound like a capitalist hellhole?
All right. Keep on going.
Sense. in my garbled sort of way.
No, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just like, a lot of people have their favorite James Bond. A lot of people may have their favorite version of Solid Snake. So you should have. I mean, yeah, I understand you may not want. You still want Steve Rogers to be Captain America, and there are books that chronicle Steve Rogers during his tenure as Captain America. So you still have those, but we also.
I'm just hung up on the James Bond thing. Like in the books, it's one James Bond, right?
Yeah.
It's one character.
Yeah, exactly.
The movies are just different actors playing the same character.
Right.
It's like you have a Shakespeare thing. Like imagine there was a fictitious Shakespeare thing play that has like three plays. Like there's Hamlet 1, Hamlet 2, and Hamlet 3 for some reason, or Macbeth in 3 parts, and they're so big that you have to do these plays on separate days. And so for the second play, because the actor for the first Macbeth play is so exhausted, you take another actor for Macbeth on the second play. Okay, or you replay these same plays a few decades later. Of course, you need another actor. Or if your actor died for the first Macbeth play, Macbeth 2 was then written later, but the actor died on your magical first thing. That, well, I think I know theater doesn't really. Is it good or is it a bad example? I don't know. I like caffeine. But it is different actors playing the same character.
Well, you could take the movies and their time periods.
How can you be this dumb?
And the scriptwriters, they did allow Sean Connery to be a bit more suave. They did allow Roger Moore to be a bit more funny. The script allowed for that. So there's certain flavors of the actors, but you get that with every actor anyway, regardless of whether or not it's Shakespeare or Ian Fleming. So
it's the same. It's
the same character. It's exactly the same character, whether you're talking about Pierce Brosnan or
Batman
or whatever. It's just the same stories. I don't see the problem. Anyway, here's Vladimir Dragunov. Thanks for the 5. What if time travelers came to the consensus that funny mustache man is the least atrocious thing for Europe?
Oh dear.
Well, that'd be amazing.
Really?
I would be impressed to find that report saying, "Sir, we went through all the timelines. The best possible scenario is what just happened." Okay, so
no, not what just happened. That's not what that tweet means.
Well, anyway, let's go.
Have Bucky Barnes as Captain America, Sam Wilson as Captain America. As you said, Green Lantern. Green Lantern is technically a job title, so there is going to be Jon Stewart. There's going to be Alan Scott. There's going to.
Okay, all American presidents are the exact same because they all held the title president.
They're all called presidents.
They're all completely interchangeable, despite differences of skin color, name, race, sexual orientation, and whatever, party affiliation even, because they were all the United President of America. They all
did a good job, person. Okay? They all did a good job, except for that Trump guy.
No. He was also that's the point, Eric. That's the point. He was also the president of the United States of America. Therefore, you have to like him, like all these other people, because these idiots define everyone by the title you hold. So you are good by virtue of holding the title. You touch the thing, and then you're a good person because of that. That's why these people are obsessed with calling themselves nice things, because they think that if they have the nice label, they are nice people. That's why they say, "Oh, if I call myself an anti-fascist, you can never call my behavior fascistic." That's the whole trick.
in the words of this he/she, whatever his pronouns was, he just played himself. Am I correct to assume that?
What?
Because he was saying earlier, the tweeter, whoever, I don't know, he played himself. Whatever that means. He made a fool of himself.
So he's doing that constantly. So, but I don't know what you're on about.
I find that funny.
Get
There's
some
no
coffee.
there's no self-awareness. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
All right.
Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner, Jessica Cruz, Joe.
God.
What? BK do comics?
Oh God. Ugh.
Anyway,
I just showered today. I want to again. Because
Wow,
I
that guy in the wow, that guy in the top left is super hot. Which guy? What guy is he talking about?
Yeah, I don't see any guy.
the he him guy. He has to specify his
Well, one
pronouns.
with
So
the
we know his
male
name.
pronouns, of course. That's how you know it's the guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, but we can't see the pronouns anymore. Maybe they've changed in the meantime.
No, I don't think that's a guy.
Oh.
And, you see, we don't see the pronouns anymore. So maybe they've changed in the meantime, and we can't say for sure whether it's a guy.
well, we don't know if it's a human, so how am I supposed to know?
That's another
It's a
question.
cat male. Okay.
It's a cat. So
What the
Cat.
Did somebody say Nick Fuentes?
Here's Tyler. Here's Tyler Preston. Normal person. Wait, they're all named the same person? How am I supposed to tell who's who? Why can't they have an individual name and style? Retarded commie. Shut the fuck up, you anti-fan. Just consume products. Don't ask questions.
America.
Guys, when you buy a comic, it says Wolverine and it has X-23 on the cover. That's Wolverine, okay? Jeez.
There are no bad presidents because they're all the president. They're all good.
They're all called president.
Yes.
All that matters.
You cannot dislike
I
the new
forgot.
president. You cannot
Moline,
dislike the
I
last
believe.
president because they're all the president.
I
They're all
like that.
good.
For a second,
Yes.
and I'm reading it.
They're all
and I'm
George
liking
Washington.
it. So it doesn't mean that I
Everyone is
Don't.
Abraham Lincoln.
want to see Hal Jordan ever again. He probably will come back. He probably will come through in a multiverse kind of thing.
Wait, if the legacy characters existed prior to 2014 or so, they are valid. No one's saying they're not valid. They're just not very good. Everything since is the woke boogeyman?
It's not a boogeyman. It's the garbage man.
Well, I don't even know what that sentence is. Everything since is the woke boogie.
No one's denying,
Socialism isn't the boogeyman. It's a menace on humanity.
no one's denying that all these characters existed. They're just looking at what they are now. Like, look at Superman when he is invented. He's not the Superman of today. He's not the Superman we think of, and he's certainly not the one that's been popularized for good reason. He was written in a better style with better ideas, with better artwork, with better dialogue, etc., etc. That's just a sign of the times, a sign of refining an idea, and being able to popularize something within that framework of the printing press. So, yes, there was the original Superman. We don't really think about him anymore. No one's writing him anymore.
The original Superman died after All-Star Superman.
And everything since is the woke garbage. Yes, that is true. Because they admit it. The creators admit it. And even the witch herself, Anita Sarkeesian, admitted in an article that she wrote, or it was an interview, either or, that of course it is not about feminism, it is about pushing socialism. She admitted that. About that interview, there wasn't enough coverage of that. She admitted that. I think in 2016, 17, somewhere like that. Pretty early on. It was pretty early on.
Right around when all this really kicked off.
I don't know how many more clues you need to be given to understand, like, they're admitting more and more as the years go on. You know,
Yeah,
like
it's because
how
they're brought up
how
from childhood through the education system that this is the good side of things. I was brought up like that.
they want to normalize it too. Yeah.
Yeah, we go through that and we grow up thinking like left good, conservative, right bad, evil,
Right.
evil
Yeah.
even. And as we buy
No
into all the
questions
leftist
asked, yeah.
crap and think that, oh, the left is oppressed and all this horrible stuff, while they are government everywhere, at least where I come from. But they're the oppressed, helpless people. Oh, well, they control every institution in our states. Fuck off. They're crying victim. They are constantly crying wolf. The difference is that when people are brought up from childhood, they will always believe there's a wolf. But there is no wolf. Oh, it's somewhere out there, so far away that you will never meet that one wolf. I think they rather cry, what do you call it? Wolf pack. But there's only one wolf, and it's on the other side of the country, hiding in a cave.
What do you mean, a werewolf?
Okay. All right. Anyway, let's get
Wolves and Reddit.
No, I mean it doesn't mean. I think the whole investment in having a strict, rigid idea when we have almost 80 years of comic history, it's really grasping at straws.
Really? So when they have the only version of Batman that really works, like the mainstream version of Batman, as opposed to like the 7 or 8 other comics he's in, and they only sell the one version, why do you think that is? It works. There's like, at one time there was like 10 or so a month coming out of Batman. I was like, holy shit, there's so many comics in the 90s of Batman. How could they make so many? And now it's down. It's probably down a lot lower. They've probably killed off. They still have Detective Comics. They still have a few others. But it's not like no one's reading Man-Bat anymore, as far as I know.
And why did Iron Man suddenly get an up spike during 2008?
Well, yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah, then they redid that. They redid the movie version for comics. I saw that. That was cool. People want
an adaptation.
Yeah. So.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they did. So they do what sells, and they just don't make things.
No, they did what sells.
Well, yeah. At the time.
Now they do Riri Williams.
Now they're trying.
That.
Yeah, they're trying hard to get anything off the market, and it's not working.
Yeah, because it's just badly written psychopathic crap, tokenist psychopathic crap, and that's why people don't buy it. And these guys don't understand that because they don't see the difference. They think they don't see the issues in the lack of morality of these alleged heroes that claim to be heroes because they have the mantle. But it's not the mantle that makes you a hero. It's your character. It is your moral foundation. It is your principles. These people don't have that. They think, oh, if I put on the Superman cape, I am Superman and therefore the good guy, no matter what I do. And then they do some mass genocide for the greater good and say, oh, well, I'm Superman, so it's good that I did this because blah. Because I say
anyone.
They've even done. They've literally even done that in universe sometimes, and they fail.
Yeah, but it's basically what Riri Williams is. That's her moral disposition. What she does is good. Well, because she does it. And that's the mind of a narcissistic toddler as well as that of a psychopath. These people, as well as the characters they write, only ever feel pain when something bad happens to them personally. They do not have empathy for others. If anything, they see others as extensions of themselves. So when they cry about the loss of someone, that's because that person was useful to them, not because they actually cared.
Or just innocence in general.
The horrible thing is that MCU Thanos is less insane than these people. Because MCU Thanos,
and that's saying something for someone literally called the Mad Titan.
Yeah. But it's because Thanos, MCU Thanos, actually feels familial love. He cares about someone, not for his personal gain, but because he cares about someone, which is Gamora. He has this mad plan in his head that is complete bullshit from every angle. And he thinks himself justified because he wants to save the universe with that, but it's because he's completely misguided. I think you could, if these, that's my critique to the MCU Thanos thing, is that his plan with his character doesn't make sense because you could have reasoned him out of it with basic ecology, the basic ecology class.
Maybe that's what Black Panther did in the What If series.
Maybe.
And yes, Ken Kaneki in the chat, I do know Riri Williams' origin story, and it is absolutely insane that somebody would write this and then still think that this is a serious character. Or not a villain. I can't believe this wasn't written ironically.
All right. 3 more minutes.
It's just something to hold on to in some sort of culture war sense.
Yep. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. You're
Cultural
right.
sense?
And like let's see, Avenger here said, yeah, sarcastically, if legacy characters existed prior to 2014, they're valid. Everything since is woke boogeyman. Yep. Yeah, it's really absurd. Really, really absurd.
No, it's not.
And I just really
It's not. It's essentially, that's what you people don't understand, because you have the same mindset as the Nazis. If you would actually look into this ideology, and if you would see swastikas everywhere, and you would criticize these characters out the wazoo, and it's completely interchangeable. It doesn't matter what horrible ideology you put into this stuff. The way these characters act makes them villains, but you don't see that because it makes positive references to my ideology of the hammer and sickle. That's the only reason. It's not the woke boogeyman. It is death incarnate, because that is what inevitably your ideology brings upon the planet. But here, we're just talking about comics. Nobody's getting hurt, right? Yeah, tell that to all the people who've been cancelled, in quotation marks. What a disgusting word to use. What a disgusting newspeak euphemism to describe destroying the professional and private life of a person, if possible, to the point that that person cannot even eat, drink, or not freeze to death. Because the ultimate goal of canceling someone is to have that person die in a very passive-aggressive manner. It is to drive people to suicide or death otherwise. But you can tell yourself, my hands are clean. I don't have blood on my hands. I am clean because I did not strike anyone down to death. I did not use physical violence. No, you just use the power of...
That did not hit her.
You only use your societal power to starve someone to death. To ostracize someone so far from society. Freeze bank accounts. Keep people from using any means of communication if possible. From speaking. You take the human rights of people that we even allow criminals to most degrees. You take that away from everyone you dislike. This is not just a boogeyman. This is a menace. And I want to go on for another hour just about this one topic, but we want to get finished with this. I'm sorry.
It's not. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going.
Hope that everybody watching, all 43 of you. By the way, I hope you're subscribed and hit the like button and all that stuff.
Oh my God.
Call this out. You know what I mean? Like if you see it, you don't have to like engage in an argument on Twitter or whatever the fuck, but like reply and hit mute mute the thread or whatever. Just like let it be known. Don't let these people rewrite history because it's what they want to do.
What?
What? This is what I mean with everything these people say is projection. They are rewriting history. They want to rewrite everything in their image, and they accuse the actual real fans, not what they call them, the actual fandom, but the actual real fans of rewriting history for wanting the authenticity of history.
So if I don't like, Batman, Superman edition, whatever comic, I like Detective Comics version of Batman. I'm not rewriting history. I'm just saying I don't like it, and I don't like that version of Batman on that or whatever. Story.
Even then, it's still the same character.
Yeah.
I don't even know how he comes to rewriting history from what's been said here. Where does he get this from?
They're trying to rewrite history.
Let's go back
if anyone's tried to rewrite history, it was socialists.
Let's go back to the original.
Nazis tried it. The commies tried it with cancel culture to the point where they deleted people out of photos, where they deleted their names from ledgers.
Rewrite history.
Okay, so here's
rewrite this video.
Yeah, so here's the original post. The guy's just saying Steve Rogers is Captain America. It's about character, not race. Screw your mantles and legacies. U.S. Agent, Winter Soldier, blah blah blah. That's it. That's all he's saying. To him,
yeah, and you know what? This is what's funny. He says John Walker and Bucky Barnes. So he's including all three of these characters.
That may be true. Like, it might be. It most likely is true, and it is that they are not lesser identities. But that doesn't mean that they are undeserving, depending on who we are talking about.
I hate this whole identity term here. That shouldn't even be. It's confusing me. Like I'm yes, they are putting on costumes, but this is not the type of role play you engage in on a stage.
Yeah.
These characters, when they take on these mantles, means that they want to live up to the principles of what those things represent.
Yeah, this is actually the name of a comic I like called Mantle of the Bat. It's a Batman comic. And Jean-Paul Valley puts on the mantle of Batman because Batman is crippled. And Jean-Paul Valley goes around and kills people. That's not Batman. That's not what Batman does. Batman realizes that and says, I got to get my mantle back. I have to stop this crazy murderer. And there's a great conflict there. So you don't just throw a costume on a character and have him run around. I think Commissioner Gordon was Batman for a while.
That literally happened with Cap after the war, where they threw the costume onto some guy during like the 50s and 60s, and they retconned it by saying, "Oh no, Cap was frozen in ice," and that's how he came back in the 60s.
Right.
And if Tony Stark had the actual Tony Stark had, or let's say MCU Tony Stark, had knowledge of Riri Williams, he would not embrace her. He would knock her out of the fucking sky because she's a villain, and take away his technology from her and make sure she doesn't do anything anymore. He'd make sure she'd be locked up in some super villain fortress, prison fortress.
Yeah, take her to the Triskelion.
Okay.
Mute the thread or whatever. Just like let it be known. Don't let these people rewrite history because it's what they want to do.
If Steve Rogers knew what Falcon did in the stupid series, he'd have come back from his timeline or from the grave or whatever, and took the bloody shield away from him again and saying, "What the fuck? I was wrong about you. You're full of shit, you racist piece of garbage."
Just with giving the shield away, just with that, which is literally the first thing he does with the damn thing.
Yeah, he was spitting on Steve's trust.
I know what they were trying to do, it just didn't
Bloody
work.
inferiority complex.
Okay.
But
They want to, create false dichotomies, and they want to poison the well for newer readers and newer fans.
No, that's what you do.
Believe this.
Oh,
Projection.
I don't give a shit about the newer readers. Newer readers.
The new readers are
You
the
want
new
to
readers
call
are idiots.
everyone racist, sexist, and white supremacists, and male fantasies, male gays, bullshit all the time. That's all you do.
How is
Poisoning the well is all you people ever do.
How is,
That's how you try to shame people into liking your shit.
I'm trying to see how Steve and Bucky are false dichotomies. They're completely different characters. I don't know what he's on about.
I don't know, but new readers are gonna they come in with the same thing. I don't see how it's hard or you have to change the story in order to fit the newer fans. That doesn't make any sense. Like they should be coming.
There are no newer fans. Look at the numbers.
You know what? Well put. Yeah, that makes more sense. There are none. There's just fans.
There's these couple issues sold. We don't even know how much of them is bought by these companies themselves to at least look like it's not just 12 issues sold of the new reboot thing. I bet even these tiny numbers are inflated. And we've seen it with the science fiction shows that they churn out with the SJW nonsense from STD, Picard, and on this and other crap. And these shows run so bad that the official viewer numbers are behind reruns of reality TV and game shows. And they are so bad that they are not even pirated. Like you have some old movies that have 10,000 seeders and leeches still. And then you have same with anime. Like there's thousands of users in these torrents. This shit came out and you have lower range 3-digit numbers of users on those torrents. That means these things, these multi-million-dollar productions, are not even pirated. They're so bad they're not even pirated. In comparison, that is no one. 300 people on a torrent? That's no one compared to the size of these things. When Game of Thrones came out, every new episode had 40,000 per torrent. Not just as a whole, but per torrent from different groups that were releasing them.
And then the finale.
Yeah. Well, that's also how we can tell that interest goes down. When people are not even consuming your shit for free. It is real shit.
When people don't
really, really bad shit.
When we don't even want to steal it.
Yeah. We're not even taking it for free. And that is what media piracy has always shown. When the shit is too bad, people aren't even taking it for free. And if you even charge 1 cent for crap, people are not gonna buy it. Because they're not even taking it for free. Because they don't want to waste their time on crap.
All right.
Same with video games. Command & Conquer 4?
Right.
Died at the pipe. There was what was it? Pipe dream? No, not. It wasn't even a dream. It was a pipe bomb. The developers, even before, let it be known in interviews that they actually had no clue about Command & Conquer. They didn't care about Command & Conquer. And they acted like dumb about the screen, the alien race. Oh, they're not going to include it because they don't even know what that is. Like, haha, they acted as if they never existed. And then they brought out this absolutely bullshit game with bullshit mechanics, and nobody wanted it. It was not even pirated. And SJWs only produce shit like that.
Okay.
And then they complain, "Oh, you're not accepting. You're not buying our stuff. It's the anti-fans." They call it now. They call the actual fans anti-fans, and themselves the actual fans. Nice gatekeeping there, asshole.
Let's see how the video ends.
And he himself said keep these people out, but he accuses the others of gatekeepers. This is like everything in 11 minutes.
I guarantee that's all their videos. It's just, oh boy.
All right, let's go.
Bullshit. That,
Hypocrites!
Somehow it's not valid for Superman to have his son be named Superman and so on.
No one's saying that.
Wow,
yeah.
his son.
See, Death Hand says, I was very young when Jon Stewart first showed up, and I really loved the character. And when we played superheroes at recess, I would always pick him to play.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, Jon Stewart, he's a black guy. So, like, what it was, did the woke mob go back in time and you know, force diversity onto the Green Lantern Corps?
Hey, idiot! People back in the day didn't give a shit about the skin color of the heroes. You do. You assholes do. You are the racists. You obsess over the skin color of characters. We only complain that you deliberately tokenize people, that you change characters, races and sexes to just fit your little zoo of little tokens, of little collectibles.
Yeah, this is during the 70s.
With no substance in them. Back in the day, we've brought this up so often.
Yeah,
people liked them, like the Wesley Snipes movies, like the Morgan Freemans and the Eddie Murphys and the Will Smith stuff.
Sam Jackson.
Yeah,
Even when Jon Stewart was put into the DC animated universe, and no one said anything about that other than, "Hey, Green Lantern."
Yeah, and that is not you. This is where you are trying to rewrite history. People were not offended by these characters. But you made it all. You brought the racism back. You socialists brought the racism back that was about to be defeated in the West in the 90s. You brought it back.
Yeah, he was based off Sidney Poitier because he was a well-known actor at the time. And,
wait, who?
Sidney Poitier. He was a famous black actor at the time. He died, I think, recently, actually. And was it recently? No, I saw an interview with another famous black actor that looked up to him. But he was based off that guy. So, you know, it's
Jon Stewart?
Yeah. So it's very common to see, you know, attractive people in a drawn format. We saw that with Lucifer. How Neil Gaiman just wanted David Bowie. He's like, I want David Bowie. Like, what? Why? I don't care. Just draw David Bowie for Lucifer.
It kind of worked.
Well, yeah. I mean,
what in Sandman or in Lucifer?
In both. Yeah. No. When the reins were given to someone else to write that.
Lucifer looked very different in Lucifer.
The original
than from Sandman. In Sandman, he just looked like the generic angel.
Well, in the first rendition, yeah, and then they cleaned him up to make him look like David Bowie.
Yeah, but in the Lucifer comic, he had this much more angular face and was a redhead.
Plus, they had a lot of different artists draw him all different styles aside from.
Yeah,
the
that was then throughout the run of the Lucifer comic.
Yeah. But it happens a lot. It's like, hey, that looks just like an actress or whatever. It's like, yep, throw him on the screen or throw him on the page. So, normal stuff. It's just what sells. Hey, a bigger production is making money over there, millions of dollars in Hollywood. Great, let's make a comic that looks like that. Why not? Happens a lot.
I was going to ask, didn't Jon Stewart and Hawkgirl, didn't they ever get into a relationship in the animated series?
I think so, but that was like part of the story of knowing that they're going to have a child together, and it's going to happen in the future. And he was dating someone else at the time. So I can't remember what episode that was. But yeah,
well, if they did, you know, it's like, I don't know what this guy thinks. You know, does he think people just like interracial couples, or did they maybe just like the relationship, the characters, and how, you know, they came into one another? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway, there's nothing wrong with liking black characters, Asian characters. No one's, you know, losing sleep over this. No one's complaining about this. It's not a big deal. And that was DC. Even with Stan Lee in the 60s and 70s, he was even further, doing all kinds of characters that were more human and female and people of color and this and that. He just wanted to do it for the sake of it. And that's before anyone gave a shit. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Iron Fist, what's that about? Oh, Asian martial art. Neat.
But it's a white guy.
It's a white guy.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Exactly.
What happened? Yeah, that was Xeon's Ghost bringing up some old Forced Adversity actual context lore from the Time Machine wash. The Time Machine, it was a dryer, by the way. It wasn't a washing machine. I wouldn't have gotten in the washing machine. But yeah, I have a time dryer, which, by the way, if you saw that video, it's called Marvel Comics, or What Was Marvel Like Before the Agendas was the name of that video. And I used my time machine, which was my dryer, to go back in time and look at comics before they were woke, right? And I was surprised to learn that, Marvel Comics has always more or less done this same stuff. Can you believe it?
No, you fucking lie. This is where your historical revisionism comes in, where you rewrite history because you look through at everything through your lens, and you see, oh, look, a black character, it was woke all along. Oh, a woman with power, it was woke all along. Oh, two female characters that talk with each other, it was woke all along. Oh, a gay character, it was woke all along. That's all you see. You don't see the depth. You don't see that it's well written because you don't even know what good writing is. You don't know what character depth is. You don't know what personality is. You don't know what principles are. All you do is look at things and, is it gay? Is it black? Is it female? Is it trans? Does it look like trans? Because you don't even know what trans is. You think all these weird fetishes are trans when they're not. This is what you do. It wasn't woke before. It wasn't socialist. And it certainly wasn't your weird modern version of this Marxist trick of just classing, making up all these new classes that put everybody in different boxes. You know what the left was preaching in the 90s? To not put people into boxes. To not just label people things. That was the left in the 90s. And I think a little bit before as well. That was the left. That is the exact opposite of what woke is doing, what the woke left is doing. Because it actually it worked so well. This not putting people into boxes worked so well that people started treating each other as humans first. However, that led to a problem for the left, namely that, oh God, this basic problem that we built all our existence on is gonna go away. Okay, let's prop up the racism again and actually call it anti-racist, so that the racism is still there. We need to fire on the racism, but so that nobody notices it, we'll call it anti-racism, and that's how we'll keep the flames going.
Yeah, the characters aren't black and diverse enough. They'd be more black and more diverse.
They have to eat fried chicken.
It's
stereotypes are bad, but they need to eat fried chicken.
Yeah, the actor isn't eating enough fried chicken, so the actor isn't black enough, so he can't be allowed to act a black character. Like, what the?
What is he? Is he a white guy? Come on.
And that's coming from you assholes, from you woke assholes.
You ever been to prison?
That's your side of history.
All right.
Like, this is the thing. This is the thing. He would call. If he was honest, he would have to call the left of the 90s and before Nazis and racists because they're doing the opposite of what he wants. He would have to name call him everything that he's name calling us, because we are from that time. We grew up in that time, and we grew up with those values. He is the type of guy who says, oh, not seeing color is racist. We grew up with, no, seeing color is racist. Because we treat people as human beings and for what they're worth as a person, not for their skin. We don't judge people by the color of their skin, but instead their character. And you assholes are the people who say, no, you have to judge them for the color of their skin. That makes you racist. You are the racists. And you are trying to rewrite history by saying the past was what you are doing right now. You are a despicable human being. And you are a threat to society. You are a threat to children with this bullshit. Channel. Because you turn young people into racists.
All right. We have 1 minute left. Let's get it over with.
Yeah.
And but if you watch that video at the beginning, whenever I open the door to my laundry room, I had it was literally just a comic comic book backing, cardboard backer, and I wrote "Time Machine" and taped it onto the fucking door. That's still there, still up. Every time I go into the fucking wash clothes, I'm like, hell
What
yeah,
a beautiful
Time
anecdote.
That's great. Okay.
Stream memes.
Oh God.
I just want to ask: should we ever cover this channel again?
No, he's
This
he's
was
worthless.
this video was an absolute waste.
Yeah,
I
we
just-
say that about all the videos.
Wow.
Yeah, but this is just some live stream cutout that was just. I
Yeah,
didn't see any content. I just saw him projecting a lot.
All right, we're not going to watch Red Letter Media's whatever that is. I'll watch it later for sure.
Hans, if you're watching, these guys are officially blacklisted.
Yeah. Okay, opinion discarded. Okay. Exactly. This is exactly what I do on Twitter. Anytime I see anything with a bio that has anything to do with pronouns, gone. I don't care who they are.
Yeah, same goes for me.
Facts don't care
I've
about
seen-
your feelings.
And I've seen people drive around with these here in Germany with these disgusting rainbow flags with the shit streaks on it and the baby colors of this horrible disgusting trans flag
Is there such
in this triangle. I think okay, that's a fascist who doesn't know he's a fascist.
is there such a credit card as the U credit card? I've never heard of that.
They'll soon will be, right? You'll get your black card. You'll get your communist card. Whatever.
Or does
Yeah.
this does this mean I get stuff for free because I'm trans? Because that would be awesome.
Okay.
No, no.
It would also explain
No,
why
no,
people.
look
There's a deeper meaning here.
Yeah,
This-
but do you swipe
this
the card or do
explains-
you insert the card?
Look, but look. This is a wonderful image to explain why people claim to be gay or bi or any bullshit or being trans when they're not. Because they get special treatment. Because all is rainbow shit.
Munchausen's.
If you claim to be of the rainbow shit, you're not oppressed, you're privileged. You
Yeah,
get
it's like going to the
privileges.
doctor saying you're sick, but you're really not.
All right, here's
They don't wanna
some
go to the
comments on the
doctors.
video. So true. If Batgirl or Supergirl were released today, these chuds would lose their minds about how these characters suck and how nobody cares about them. At least it's going to be
Wrong.
real fun watching these people spin themselves into circles of denial as characters like Kamala, Sam Wilson, and possibly Shuri and Riri make huge bank for the MCU.
Where do you get your
Oh,
numbers
yeah.
from?
Huge bank. Maybe if bankruptcy is, your bare minimum,
Yeah.
and huge bank would be $1. Yeah, it's possibly.
Captain Marvel. I'm trying to even remember how the box office numbers were for that. Like,
It was
What?
so bad. Marvel bought cinema tickets.
oh yeah.
Yeah, they bought they bought tickets for their own fucking movie.
It was
Oh my
yeah,
God.
so that they had sold out cinemas with nobody in it, or maybe 2 or 3 people.
All right, here's
Where
the
is
next one.
everybody? I thought it was a full
What?
house.
What annoys me is this is a new complaint. Really, legacy characters are not new. Yeah, that's true. Legacy characters are not new. DC and Marvel have been using legacy characters from the beginning. Okay. Anyway, it is weird when suddenly people started shitting on legacy characters. I wonder why it's happening. It is really strange with Captain Marvel, since most of these people don't even know Marvel or any of the Marvel comics. Captain
Yes, we
Marvel's
do.
before Carol, but Carol is despised for some unknown reason. No.
Unknown.
No,
What?
unknown.
Yeah, I know.
Unknown. He's a
Whoa.
psychopath.
Yeah,
He's a villain
yeah, I know.
Ironically enough, Carol is
and a
literally
sadist.
no. Hold on. Ironically enough, Carol is literally the most recent Captain Marvel in general.
Yeah, I know that with Captain Marvel, part of the problem is how DC doesn't use the name anymore. And
Because
that
Marvel owns it.
angers people who prefer calling Billy Captain Marvel, not Shazam. I do too, but to take that out on Carol seems petty? No, that's not.
No. That's not the issue. That's not the whole.
What?
The whole who has the Captain Marvel name. That's basically
Yeah.
That's
just
completely
funny.
irrelevant to the
Yeah,
actual
that's-
characters.
That's just
Yeah.
a funny little. That's just funny trivia.
Yeah.
The
No one
problem with
cares.
that, you people do not understand because you're not listening. You're never listening to the arguments people actually make. Otherwise, you would know, or you're just lying. That is also possible. Otherwise, you would know that we despise these characters because they are psychopaths, they're narcissists, they're sadists, they're villains. They're not the good guys.
All right.
And nobody wants to read comics about alleged heroes that are actually villains.
Here's my wonderful...
There are interesting comics about villains that are villains and do villainous things from the perspective of villains, with the villains as the main characters.
Yeah, like Man-Bat, as
The Joker.
popular as it was. Yeah.
The
First,
Joker and Lex.
It's just this whole. What annoys me is this is new. It's not a new complaint. What you want, this comment illustrates this. All these people want is that legacy characters were accepted before and now you don't do it.
They've always been accepted.
Yes, they want their legacy, these new characters to be just blindly accepted because they have the mantles on them.
They won't be and will never be.
All right.
Yeah.
So here is my wonderful analogy. I don't know why I brought up Smurfs, but I did.
First Smurf.
Legacy characters done right. What do we got here?
We've got from left to right. We've got Dan Garrett, Ted Cord, and Jaime Reyes.
Interesting.
That's the legacy of the Blue Beetle right there.
Yeah.
I have never heard of this.
There we go.
Also, here's Alan Scott. Here's Alan Scott.
The Tick?
What?
What? No, Alan Scott.
Wisp.
He does look like the Tick,
Wisp,
doesn't
this
he?
is not the Tick.
No, not
the
really.
Blue Beetle. This is simple reminder of the Tick.
I mean, maybe the Tick was inspired by the Blue Beetle.
Okay.
Maybe. And also, that was Alan Scott. Here's Jay Garrick. Go to Hellforced Adversity. Jay's helmet was cool and still is cool.
Yeah, is that a British World War I helmet?
I believe so. Yeah. I mean, say what you say. Also, say what you want about the CW, like the Arrowverse. It's like I did like Jay Garrick's costume in the Arrowverse. It was a decent attempt at a modernization of his design.
Oh,
this is
was he in that show?
I think this is Alex Ross.
No, Jay actually looked pretty good. Yeah, these two, the ones for Alan and Jay are Alex Ross. Yeah.
Oh no, more comments.
All right. More. Okay, I like legacy characters. Since each decade, the comics become less believable because the story seems to stay frozen. Peter Parker needs to be a single teenager without a job forever. Every Robin has to be a kid, even though they are adults, because Batman can't be past his prime, and the mutant cause can't advance, just so they can keep the half-centuries-old characters in stasis. Well, that's just comics as a whole. It's not.
That's a general the big two in the US.
Right. They
Comic
just
problem.
keep telling the same
Other
story
comics-
over and over again. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Any other comics do not have these problems. It's just the big DC, the big Marvel stuff.
Yeah. Let Peter become a dad. Let characters like Wolverine and Xavier die. They have, for real. We are halfway to Batman Beyond already. Let Batman start losing fights and put Tim Drake as the main character. Don't they have the Red Hood going on like crazy? Isn't that a thing?
Well, that's Jason Todd.
Jason Todd?
But Tim Drake, I don't know.
I know. It's just like people like Bruce Wayne story.
There's Batman Beyond, right?
Yeah, but there's reasons why these things still sell. Not very well, obviously, but it's just there's a reason why Batman is popular. It's the Bruce Wayne story. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not the Robin story. You can tell that story, but we have Batman Beyond for that. We have other iterations, but again, each to their own. Read what you want. People buy what
I do find the X-Men comment pretty funny because those stories are always about passing the torch, essentially.
There are so many iterations.
And they always have to stay in the same place with Xavier and Magneto.
Yeah, there was Generation Next in the late 90s. We have all these versions of the mutants, the Skifted School, and teammates in different parts of the world. So there's so much options for Marvel. Should it continue? Yeah. I don't know. I don't care. Whatever sells. People are hating on Jon Stewart's Green Lantern now. Weren't these the same fans who grew up with the DCAU's Justice League? Well, that's a little different, which also had him alongside Wally West's Flash. And mind you, said fans also put shows they grew up with from the 80s all the way to the early mid-2000s as the pinnacle of Western cartoons.
Are you sure they do that?
I remember the Flash miniseries, the live-action one in the 90s, I think. It was very well done. Like, they did a really good job.
You know what I put at the pinnacle of Western cartoons from before 2000?
Gigaman.
What? No, not Gingerman.
No, he left. I said bye.
Asterix, especially
Okay.
Operation Mania, which you can't watch in America because the
Right.
American dub is absolutely atrocious. You should never watch that.
All right, here's the
Well,
science.
it's a cartoon that can a cartoon movie that's animation quality can easily, and the writing especially, easily measure up to Disney stuff.
Here's this is actually not the dialectic materialistic method of what they would do for the scientific method, but let's just read it out. The science worshippers method: formulate or plagiarize a hypothesis, construct a model based on preconceived ideas, find data that agrees with model, discard data that does not align with model, shout, trust the experts.
Yeah, and that's what they've been doing for decades, and that's what the social sciences keep doing all the bloody time.
Well,
let's
social
say
sciences.
99% of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad social sciences, but it's one of those not completely useless because you do get stats.
Yeah, look, and the horrible thing is, I know people who look exactly like these two Wojaks here on the right.
Yes.
Side. And with the same with the exact expressions and the smugness, and they will write you things when you have an argument, and even when it's about something criminal, they will write to you or tell you in person that evidence and reason and logic don't matter. They will tell you evidence doesn't matter.
Oh boy, here's his new Twitter account. YouTuber ambassadors, not gatekeepers. Comics for all, fandom for all. Only ever said ironically. Gotham City. All right.
Well, if it's for everybody, then why are you complaining about people who are
Gatekeepers.
somehow gatekeeping? Apparently.
Spud Gang joined the Sinestro Corps because the Green Lanterns lose to a guy dressed as a pencil.
What?
All right.
Okay.
The pencil man.
I'm
here's-
still
That's a
me.
cool Lego. I like that.
Yeah, it's really good Lego. Behold,
Didn't know there
our
was
newest Superman,
Sinestro
John
Green
Kent.
Lantern stuff.
Are you sure this will help us sell more DC
Oh.
Comics? DC Comics? That's great.
Oh my god. That's actually a real image. Oh no.
Well, I thought it was going to be sell more, but it's DC Comics? It's good.
What
Guys,
even is that kiss? It just looks like they're smushing their faces together.
Guy says to just drop a comment, then block them, and he is surprised nobody wants to debate him. Why would you want to even talk to this guy?
So if you are against gatekeeping, you can't block people.
Why are anti-SJW so scared to debate me? We don't care about your opinion. It's useless.
Yeah, because you keep deleting the comments, apparently.
Oh, no. Carol Danvers talking to Magneto, the Holocaust survivor. Yes, this is how it starts. Next come the detention camps. Right, I forgot. You're that guy online who compares everything to Hitler? Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Whisp. Oh.
Well, we'll see what happens in Canada recently with detention camps. There's a lot of weird things happening in Ontario right now, but we'll find out.
I prophesied that Justin Trudeau will go into exile in Cuba.
Again?
Again.
Again. Oh, I got the cold. I'll be in my retreat for 11 days. I'm like, what? Okay. So here's John Stewart
Castro, right?
from the Green Lantern Corps. Yeah. Thanks,
Wisp.
Fantastic. Anyway, that was pretty bad, or pretty sad rather. I'd say sad is the better accurate word.
Should we ever cover this people again?
No, he's worthless.
Non-humans.
He's not as worthless as Xanther, but at least he's noticeably sad. It's like this is pathetic.
Yeah,
it wasn't a real video of his, but this is also not clip worthy.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys. That was less than 2 hours. How long we go? Oh, just on 2 hours. Well, fantastic. Well, thank you guys for the suggestion. Enjoy your weekend. Go get a drink. Go get a nap. Whatever you need. and get back to grinding on the weekend if that's your thing. If not, call it a day. Take it easy. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
My pronouns are wee wee.